What's up people, welcome back to the Ditto music channel. Today we're talking about how to effectively promote your music as an independent artist. But before we get stuck into the video, we're giving away a Shure SM58. And to be in with the chances of winning it, all you need to do is leave your best comment in the comments section below. Now that could be your favourite independent music promotion tip that we don't cover in this video, or it could be a funny anecdote or story from your music career, or anything that you think is relevant to give yourself the best chance of winning that Shure SM58. Anyway, roll the... Now, if you're watching this, the chances are you make your own music, and if that's the case, you're going to need to get yourself a distributor to get onto platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram, Deezer, etc, etc. May I recommend Ditto Music? With Ditto, you can release unlimited tracks worldwide and keep 100% of your royalties, all while utilising their amazing array of tools to help grow your music career. I'll leave all the information for Ditto in the description box below, so head over there to check it out. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So, you're an independent artist, which probably means you're in the self-funded club. You don't have a major label behind you just ploughing money into all of your projects. But all hope is not lost. I'm here to tell you about the best tips to promote your music independently and effectively, which leads me straight into my first tip, and that's distribute smartly. Now, it's a good rule of thumb as an independent artist to distribute everywhere so you've got maximum outreach to anyone who uses different platforms. However, let's say that people find you through your social media first. In this instance, they're going to be going to the links in your bio to try and find out where your music is and get there as quickly as possible. You don't want to be losing people in the funnel because they can't find the link to where to find you on their particular chosen platform. That's why there are such things as smart links and landing pages, so that you can organize links to your music in one easy to find location. And if you're using Ditto, you get smart links included with every release, which means you get a specific link dedicated to that song so people can find it easily on their chosen platforms. However, if you don't use Ditto, there are still a lot of options out there. Linktree is one of the biggest ones that I'm sure you've seen loads of other people use, and also SubmitHub have just released their own version, which I've heard really good things about as well. So make sure you go check those out if you don't use Ditto to see if they may fit your needs. Also, another thing about these landing pages and smart links is that they can sometimes offer you information and analytics like location and email addresses and things like that. This information is really invaluable because it can give you locations of where your fans are based, which is an important metric to know, and also email addresses, which can help you start to build a mailing list, which is going to help you down the line when you start promoting more through email campaigns and things like that. Okay, tip number 2 is branding. Specifically branding each release, trying to create a world around each single, EP, album release so that your fans can be fully immersed in the project. This could really be as simple as using the same filters on all of the photos and videos that go along with the project, just to give everything a really strong theme across your social media profiles. Now, you may have already seen other artists doing a similar thing. Some people like to choose a colour, and they'll make a lot of the content they create around this particular project the same colour. They'll be wearing the same colour, the background will be the same colour, everything will be kind of matching in a certain sense, so that when you're scrolling through someone's feed, you can clearly see where one project starts and finishes and then goes into the next one. So aside from just being creative with the music itself, get creative with your aesthetic and draw fans into the world that you're trying to build. Tip number 3, social media trends. Now, I'm pretty sure this is slowly becoming the bane of most independent artists' life these days, trying to hop on social media trends and utilize them into helping them grow their music. But the issue I find that most people face is that they're doing things too literally, if that makes sense. For example, if you see a social media trend and you just copy the trend, I think sometimes it can fall by the wayside only because you're getting lost in the sea of people that have kind of also struck while the iron is supposedly hot. I think the important thing to consider when jumping on these trends is trying to do it in a very unique way that is still very true to your brand and your values and who you're trying to be as an artist. Now, I'm pretty sure that that sounds like the most vague and not really a tip, and how do I interpret that and use it for what I've got going on? But trying to be as creative as possible with the trends that are happening right now seems to be the best way to go. Doing the trends as they were originally intended may not be the way to go because that idea has already happened. Jumping on a trend but doing it in your own way is a surefire way to stand out, in my opinion. Now, interpret that however you want, but that's my advice. My next tip is contact lists. Algorithms for all of the various different music platforms and social media platforms, they are forever changing, with every month that goes by, apparently. But one thing that never changes is direct-to-fan communication. So as I mentioned earlier with the smart links, any way that you can collect email addresses and phone numbers from fans so that you can directly contact them when a new release comes out is just going to make your life easier with every new release that happens. So utilize a contact form on your website or the smart link thing that I mentioned earlier. Any way that you can collect this information will make your life a hell of a lot easier going forward. On to the next tip, which is collaborations. Collaborations are one of the fastest ways you can grow, but only if you choose the right people to do it with. Obviously, you're going to want to collaborate with people in a similar genre and style to you, otherwise it doesn't really make any sense. But it's effectively sharing audiences. So this could be seen as literally collaborating on music and featuring on each other's songs if you're from the same sort of genre and style, but also just collaborating together on social media content that potentially isn't linked to an official release, it's just sharing audiences via social media. Both are really great ways to grow your audience using crossovers with other artists in your niche, and also to help each other out and build community around your music. It's also good to reach out to micro-influencers who may have a smaller following but have a really loyal fan base dedicated to the style that they're trying to advertise or create content about. So do some digging on social media and try and find those people, reach out to them and see if they'll talk about your music or use it in their content. We're trying to find the people that are going to listen to your music, so you need to just search out your niche, find that pocket of people and pitch directly to them. My next tip is playlisting. The main goal with playlisting is, yes, to get it in front of as many people as possible, but it's also, unfortunately, to tickle the old algorithm, which is triggered usually when lots of people add your songs to their playlists all in one short space of time, which is where companies such as Groover and Submit Hub and MusoSoup all come into their own because they all help towards this common goal. But the idea is to get as many approvals for your song as possible so that when your music drops, it gets added to all these playlists and hopefully, fingers crossed, triggers the old algorithms into boosting your music and getting it heard by more people. And yes, you can pitch directly to the editorial playlists on the big platforms, but I would say that the independent playlists and smaller curators are sometimes more valuable because the listenership is a lot of the time more dedicated rather than just sort of casual listeners on Spotify who are just sticking on their day list and aren't really paying attention to the music that's being played. So targeting independent curators via Submit Hub or Groover or however you want to do it is a great way to make sure that you're going to find a really engaged listenership. So continuing down the road of Submit Hub, Groover, MusoSoup and platforms such as these, you can also send directly to blogs rather than just playlists. And blogs are a really great way to improve your SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. The more pages that link to your music, the more chance you've got of showing up when someone Googles your name. Next tip is quality content. And when I say quality, I mean just making sure that everything you make is consistently good and of a certain standard that you're proud of. Not just churning everything out just because someone says to post 3 TikToks a day. Also, potentially try this. Use your different social media platforms for different reasons. Let's say that Instagram is like your CV and your show reel. Your grid should be eye-catching and displays your brand exactly how you want to be seen for the first time when people see you as an artist. Your TikTok can be more off the cuff, random things, less filtered, a bit more real and raw. That's where people go for that kind of content. Stories should be like your diary. Fans should be able to check in with you on a day and see what you're up to, but don't post too many because people aren't going to sit there and scroll through hundreds of stories. Just give them a little insight into what you're up to in your music career on any given day. And then YouTube can be obviously used for all of your long form content and your full quality music videos and all of that stuff. Having content that's tailored to each social media platform not only gives fans a reason to follow you on all of your different platforms, but it also gives you the opportunity to reach new fans who are looking for different kinds of content. On to the next one, and it's old school, live shows. Playing live is still one of the best ways that you can engage with your audience, and applying for support slots for acts that are already successful in your niche is a great way to go about reaching the exact audience that you're looking for. Failing that, Ditto has a live festival map which I'll leave a link to in the description box below, so you can find festivals and apply to play and find your audience that way. Failing that, live streaming through platforms like Twitch, YouTube and Instagram is also a really great way to perform live and reach new audiences. Now my next tip is based around the services that Ditto offer outside of music distribution. Ditto offer PR campaigns, chart registration, they enable you to collect your worldwide publishing royalties, royalty splits for your collabs, and much more. It's basically everything you need to grow as an independent artist directly from the Ditto dashboard. And there's one last tip that I wanted to mention before I sign off, and that is something I'm going to call a fan playlist boost. One way that could potentially be effective if done correctly is mobilizing your fans to add your song to a playlist at exactly the same time to hopefully trigger the algorithms. Now, I'm not sure on the science of this or if it actually works, but I've heard other people have had success with it. So announce to your fans that everybody's going to be adding the tracks to a playlist at a certain time on a certain day, and hope for the best. It may work, it may not, but it's something to try. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope those tips will come in handy on your independent music journeys. Remember, you can get your hands on that Shure SM58. Just leave your best comment in the comment section below. We'll be scanning through to pick out our favourite comment, and you could be the lucky new owner of a Shure SM58. My name's Sean Reynolds. I'll see you again in another video. Peace.